Hello, YouTube friends. This is Richard Mabey with Richard Mabey Presents. What I was thinking about doing today is dedicating this episode to my great uncle Earl Mabey, who was killed in France during World War I, killed in battle. Now, before I even begin, there's a great debate. I've checked on the different websites. There's one, the Mabey Society, and they're based in England. And the documentation shows from the United States Army that Earl Mabey was killed in action. And I had always assumed that was with a bullet. And some of my cousins have pointed out to me that it's strongly believed that Earl was gassed. He was in France, in a foxhole, and he was gassed by the Germans. But my whole thinking, my philosophy, my perspective is that, okay, if he was killed by a bullet or he died from in a foxhole with gas poisoning, what difference does it make? You know, he was fighting for democracy. He answered the call to his country. And he died a hero, regardless if it was a bullet or gas. So I just wanted to, and I'm not trying to create a debate or anything like that, but just, get that out of the way. I first really found out the details of my great uncle Earl, my Grandpa Mabey's brother, when I was 12 years old and had rheumatic fever. And for 1 year of my life, my feet never touched the ground, and I was in and out of hospitals. And usually on Wednesday afternoons, my grandma and grandpa would come to visit me in my bedroom. I was under strict bed rest. Now, here's the funny thing. My bedroom in the old Mabey homestead was the very same bedroom, that my grandpa Mabey Watson shared with his brother Earl from early boyhood to coming of age. It was the only bedroom that Earl ever knew. And then when Grandpa Mabey Watson married my grandmother Bertha Storms, then he left that bedroom. So for my grandfather, and I was 12 years old, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was probably a very almost eerie, haunting, a little bit of a Twilight Zone thing coming back into the bedroom that he grew up in, visiting his grandson, And sometimes he would reference that to me. Earl was drafted into the United States Army when he was 18 years old. Now, the way the land used to go on the Mabey homestead along Mabey Lane was the grand farmhouse, the big Mabey homestead. There was a backyard. Then there was a big open field, about an acre in size. Now that was the very spot, the very land where Earl was going to build his home when he came back from the war. And he had a girlfriend. Earl had a girlfriend. And they had planned on being married when he came home from the war. Sadly, of course, he never came home. And then my grandfather, the house my grandfather built, was right behind that field at the end of Mabey Lane. In that field, Earl's Meadow, is the place where I used to play baseball from the time I was, I guess, about 8 years old. And what was really odd, on summer's days, as soon as school let out, the next day, there were all woods surrounding Earl's Meadow, to the east, to the west, and to the north. And there were different trails, different paths. One of them led to the canal. Another one led to a brook. And then over across from the canal, across the railroad tracks, were different homes in Tuaco. They called it Bellows Lane. Well, it was the strangest thing. My buddies George, Joey, Stu, and a few, Kevin, and a few of my cousins, Davey and Eddie, we'd all be, first day after school let out in June, mid to late June, we'd be there to play baseball in that open field. And these other kids whom, my goodness, I hadn't seen them since last year playing baseball in the backfield. They would come out of the woods. It was the most strangest thing. And in kiddom, you don't have your given name, you have a nickname. My nickname was Snitch, Rich the Snitch. And everyone had their own nickname. So we would start off playing baseball right after breakfast. I'd say about, oh my goodness, we'd start off about 8 o'clock in the morning. Then everybody about high noon would depart and then magically reappear about 1 o'clock. And we played baseball, then we play again until about 4:30. And my mom used to supply us with this big must have been about 2-quart cooler, pitcher. And it would be filled with Kool-Aid or lemonade or that kind of thing. We used to call it bug juice. Mostly that red high C. I didn't mean to name products. So, and we used to have, every so often was a special treat. We might have a box of oatmeal cookies or a box of chocolate chip cookies to divvy up among us. I'm going to get back to my great Uncle Earl. I'll be right back. Folks, it's now Opie time. Bum, 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 da, 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 da. Where's he going? He's got, this is a new little hiding place for him, a new little nook for him. Usually goes right on the seat. Opie. Oh, now look at this. Hey, maybe I'll say hello to everybody. Opie, say meow. Opie, say meow to everybody. Opie. No, don't do that, Opie. No, Opie, we got to keep the car for a while. Opie, don't do that. No, Opie, don't do that. No. He's very disciplined. I tell him no, and he stops right away like, no, boom, he stops. He's going to the back seat now. Opie. He's going back there now. I can't get him now. Opie. He's gone. There he is. Opie. Say hello to your fans, Opie. Opie. No, Opie, don't do that. See, as soon as I say no, he stops. Opie, I go, Opie, no, and he stops right away. Very disciplined cat. Opie, where you going? That's my boy, huh? Say hello to your fans. Oh, look at how cute. Say Here, Opie, say hello to your fans. As soon as I tell him to say hello, he usually gives a meow. Opie, where are you? Where are you? Where'd you go? Opie. No, Opie, no. See, I say no, he stops. No, Opie, no. I tell him, Opie, no, and he stops. I just snap my fingers and he stops. Opie, that's the way to do it. Ah, he's so cute. All right. Get back to him. Opie, want to say goodbye to your fans? Opie? Opie? Opie, no. Watch this, watch this. As soon as I say no, he stops. Opie, no. See that? Discipline. I got him disciplined good. He's so cute. All right, go back to my story. Okay, folks, I'm back. So anyway, back to the story of my great Uncle Earl. I got a little sidetracked with talking about Earl's Meadow and my childhood remembrances of Earl's Meadow. Now, hope he's on the edge here. I don't like it when he goes, I always get nervous that he's going to, he goes right, there he goes. Okay, he's okay. He's good. Okay. I got to focus. So anyway, originally I wrote the story, and it was almost in it was in chapter form, in a book form, in 1986, and I titled it Two Brothers. Then in 1987, I brought the story to life in the pages of the Lincoln Park Journal. Every week, there was a chapter was published in the Lincoln Park Journal for a little more than a full year. It was titled Two Brothers, and it told the story of Watson and Earl, Watson, my grandfather, and Earl, my great-grandfather, my great-uncle, and their father, William. Now, William, they were very, very smart people. Right about Mabey Lane used to go all the way down to the Morris Canal. And at that point, just a few yards to the west was Incline Plane 10 East. And the canal boats would get backed up because it took a significant amount of time to climb that hill, that mountain at the Lincoln Park-Towako border on Incline Plane 10 East. So there was a pond at the base of Incline Plane 10 East, and the canal boats would back up. So the Morris Canal went from Jersey City to the Delaware River. So the people lived on their canal boats. You know, they did not necessarily, live in Squirrel Valley, New Jersey or something. They lived on their canal boats. And then when the canal froze up, they probably, lived with a relative for a few months during the winter months and that kind of thing. But for the most part, they lived on their canal boats. So they needed ice. So it gets very confusing here. My grandfather's grandfather, the original William Mabey, he built an ice house at the base of Incline Plane 10 East. And as of year 2000, the foundation was still there. And my great-grandfather, William Mabey, the second William Mabey, he worked the ice house with his two sons, Watson and Earl. Here is the amazing thing. To the southwest of the ice house was the Francisco Mill. and the Francisco mill cut wood. And there was a river that went from Route 202. Actually, it went beneath Route 202. It started at Hook Mountain. And there was a pond up there. They used to call it, when I was a kid, the Lily Pond. But this river would go down Hook Mountain, gather up force from going down the mountain, go beneath Route 202, and then go to the Francisco Mill. So they had a lot, Mr. Francisco had a lot of sawdust. So my great-grandfather had probably made some kind of a deal, where he took away the sawdust, which I'm sure Mr. Francisco was absolutely glad to get rid of, and used that to pack in between the blocks of ice. In the wintertime, they would cut the ice in the canal, put it into the ice house, and insulate it with thick coatings of sawdust. Very interesting history there. So in 1987, for 1 year, a little over a year, each week I published a different chapter of Two Brothers. Then at the same time, I was writing it into a stage play. And the stage play was produced in 1989 at the Scottish Rite Theatre in Lincoln Park. And I was blessed beyond my wildest imagination. I had a splendid cast. I mean, I had a cast that was incredible. And I had a co-writer, the name of Bill Anderson. I think he's a genius. And I was really good at writing the sentimental scenes, the warm, heart-spun scenes. But in a stage play, you need a firecracker every so often. You need that pow, you need that punch. And I'm telling you, Bill was outstanding to create this dramatic climax in plays. Like he would find the conflict, capitalize on it, and break your heart with this, the kind of a dynamic drama. And so we complemented each other very well. And the play was a huge success. Now, fast forward to 2020, and I've been getting these nudges in my heart center to revisit Two Brothers. In the play, the story was titled Beyond the North Star. And I think I'm going to do that, revisit the story of my grandfather and great uncle, their relationship as two brothers working along the Morris Canal in the early 1900s, Earl leaving to go to war, hoping to come back and build a home in this acre open field, and sadly never returning. So I'm thinking more and more about revisiting that, getting some of my old notebooks out, get a pencil and just, no computer, just write it by longhand and then type it into the computer and format it and that kind of thing. It's kind of a more serious episode, except for our little break with Opie. It's been very reflective for me. It's Sunday morning, almost lunchtime. I'm going to have a slice of pizza and salad. My sister Patty and I, we went out for pizza Friday. And with the COVID virus, it's not really the wisest thing to go into the so we ate the pizza. We had a couple slices in the car. We still have some pizza left over, so I have a slice of pizza and a salad. And then I think I'm going to take it easy. I taped Svengoolie. I didn't watch it last night, and I forget what episode it was on Svengoolie. But I might watch Svengoolie this afternoon. I might watch a couple of. I got some Andy Griffith shows taped. I might watch a couple episodes of Andy and Barney, and then I don't know. I might take a walk, go up and get the mail. It's almost about a. You live in Jersey. You go out to your mailbox. Take 7 steps. It's about a mile walk to the mailbox. Maybe 3/4 of a mile. I'm gonna have to pace it sometime. So that's just about it. I'll wrap things up. I hope all is going well for each and every one of you. And until my next blog, stay safe, stay positive. Bye, folks.